what, fans of Soul Eater Not? Something actually happened this week. Yes, there was story progression, there was badass action, and fans of the original Soul Eater anime series will be glad to see there's a lot of fan service for them, because we actually get to figure out who it is who killed Sid the zombie. Yes, he was a character from the original Soul Eater anime series. He was a teacher at the DWMA, and he was a zombie. They just sort of explained that he was killed one day, Dr. Stein turned him into an immortal zombie, and that's it. You better accept it, because that's all you're gonna get. Except that in this week's episode, we actually get to see who the killer is, and big freaking shocking surprise, it's Shaula Gorgon. Yes, she actually gets to make a really nice appearance this week, and a lot of really cool action scenes, and I just love her design so much. The creepy, weird stinger hair, which I don't know how that works, but it's awesome. Her incredibly disturbing eyes combined with that creepy, almost snake-like smile. You can definitely tell that she is related to Medusa and Arachne. She just reeks of charisma, but she also happens to be a fantastic villain. And when she takes out Sid this week, it is not pretty. She stabs him in the neck, she chokes him, and then basically just leaves him in a crater of destruction, writing in blood all over the ground, "No one shall sleep." This was an awesome dark moment for the series, and was probably one of my favorite moments from all of Soul Eater Not. I'm really enjoying where the story is going right now, and I like how it's actually tying into the original Soul Eater, getting to see who killed Sid. But the other conflict this week is that Meimei and Tsugumi are having a fight because at the beginning of the episode, Tsugumi gets the unfortunate news that her dog Pochi has been in some sort of accident and may or may not be dead. Anyone who has ever had a pet caught like in an accident or hit by a car or something, you know exactly what Tsugumi is going through. And no matter what anybody does to console you, it's something that you just have to work through on your own. And unfortunately for her, Meimei just continues to forget about everything, and it makes it seem like she's kind of insensitive about this because Tsugumi just blows off the handle when she's like, "How could you forget about my dog getting hurt?" And this just causes both of them to sort of drift apart. But this leads to this scene where we actually get to see that Meimei is being controlled by Shaula Gorgon, and they follow her to this house, and they try to break her out of this room, and that's when Shaula takes over. And that's where this huge scene takes place where you get to see that Shaula is watching everybody from the rooftops, firing arrows, and controlling random soldiers with her weird, freaky control abilities. And what's even more messed up is when Sid is actually killed, you can actually see that Meimei is the one who is there, so they're sort of like trying to frame her too, sort of trying to cover up her tracks. And now that Sid was the only one who actually saw anything and he was killed, no one can really follow up on the whole Shaula Gorgon thing. So definitely an interesting episode. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Soul Eater Not? This is by far one of the best episodes of the series, other than the one which also involved Shaula Gorgon, was with Eternal Feather trying to kill herself. You know, just Shaula herself seems like a really interesting villain. The thing is, I just don't know what her motives are, aside from the fact that she's just plain evil, and she wants to get the secrets of DWMA. But why is that? I'm really interested to learn about her. Other things that were cool this week is, you know, they sort of follow up again on Anya, because when they're first introduced to her character in the beginning of the series, she clearly was from royalty, and apparently she is Princess Anastasia. And she had these rules where apparently if she ever fell into massive danger at the DWMA, that she would be sent home immediately, especially if Sid was killed. And she's going to be sent home, and that really sucks, because her and Tsugumi were finally starting to warm up to each other, and they might even have become partners this week. But that is what it is. But the animation and the artwork of this week was definitely better. It wasn't that great all the time, but when there was action scenes, it looked really cool, especially when Meimei was being controlled by Shaula. Her fighting style was really, really cool and very brutal. And I like the fact that when she was actually grabbing Tsugumi, she like forced her to turn into her weapon so that she could fight against the other soldiers, which is pretty messed up when you really think about it. Tsugumi's body was just forced to kill people, and there's really nothing she could do about it, except that after all of that, she was just hilariously thrown into a tree. But otherwise, everything worked this week. I loved the color schemes at the end. I like how everything is starting to resemble Halloween with all the pumpkins and bats and everything. I'm really interested to see where the rest of the series is going, because I don't know how long it's going to be. Believe it or not, with this episode, it's actually sort of like setting up a climax, and I've actually heard that the entire series is like only going to be about 12 episodes, and that really wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's only so far they can go with the Soul Eater not thing, but we'll see. Next week's episode looks like it's going to involve a lot of characters and a lot of classic characters. I already saw Maka and Soul, so it looks like next week's episode will be great. But this one was not perfect, but it definitely had some really great story progression, some really cool action, some cool revelations for fans of the original series. So I liked it. It's an 8 out of 10 from me, my second favorite episode of the series. Check it out, guys. Cool episode. If you guys saw this week's episode of Soul Eater Not, I would love to hear your thoughts about it, and you can tell me with your comments below. Did you have any favorite scenes from this week? Do you have any predictions for the rest of Soul Eater Not? And what do you think of Shaula Gorgon? How does she hold up to Medusa and Arachne? Remember, guys, before you leave, hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. It's really, really easy to do. You know what else is easy to do? Watching all of our videos. That's the easiest way to help us out, as well as subscribing to the channel so you can see all of our different videos. You can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for all of that in the description box below, as well as a donate button. If you guys would like, you can donate directly to us to help keep the channel going. So guys, I will see you next time. Super Kami Guru 9000 out.